Hey guys, I'm going to show you a back to school makeup tutorial using mostly affordable drugstore products. This is a makeup that I think is really appropriate for school if you're going back to high school, college, even junior high school is not too heavy, so let's get started. The first thing I'm going to use is the Anastasia Dipbrow in Chocolate. You can see I've been using the heck out of it. I just brush my eyebrows into place and then I go ahead and use a stiff angled brush. This is from Eco Tools, and I push the product through my eyebrows. I always start on the underside of the eyebrows. That's a quick tip. It just really helps for you to map out the shape of the eyebrow you want. So you go underneath and then you can kind of fill in where you need to. I fill on the top of my arch because I really don't have any hair up there and I want to create a certain look. So I go ahead and fill in the top, and then I go ahead and brush through so that they're more natural, because the Dipbrow is very pigmented and I don't want it to look unnatural. I go ahead with my concealer, the Studio Finish Concealer, and I believe that is in NC42 or NC35, I'm not totally sure, but I go ahead and I sculpt out the bottom of my brow. And if this was for like a night out or a heavier makeup, I would do the top, but I'm just going to do the bottom so that it cleans up the shape. And I go ahead and make sure to get a really clean shape, and then I use a synthetic brush to blend out the concealer. Also, doing this provides a really nice highlight, which I like. I don't really have to use any eyeshadow on my brow bone if I don't want to, because the concealer is already going to give me a really nice highlight, and it really helps to make those brows look super duper sharp. After I do my eyebrows, I move on to my foundation. Right now I'm currently using the L'Oreal Magic Nude foundation, and guys, I know it looks really light, but it's honestly not. I find with this foundation that it oxidizes a lot, so it's going to kind of calm down and get a little bit darker, and it's going to melt into my skin more. But right now as I'm putting it on, I can see it looks a little lighter, but definitely it's going to settle down into my skin. Don't worry about that. I'm not going to walk around looking all ghostly. But I apply it with a Real Techniques sponge, which I love. I go ahead and prime my eyes with the Absolute Eyeshadow Primer, which you can get at any drugstore. I believe it's $1. And I just take my finger and blend that in evenly all over the lid so that my eyeshadow will last all day. And if you are going to school, it's going to last all day long. You have to put a primer on, or else you're going to get lots of creasing and your eyeshadow is going to move all over the place. To set that, I use just my face powder, nothing special, and that's the Laura Mercier Smooth Finish Powder number 14. I go ahead and I use an e.l.f. brush and I put that all over my lids, so that it's going to help my eyeshadows that I'm putting on top blend easier, and it's going to help to give me some color onto my lids. I'm going to use the Bobbi Brown Camel eyeshadow in my crease with a fluffy brush. I'm going to use that, and I believe that's a crown brush there. It's kind of like the MAC 224 brush, and I'm just going to buff it into the crease and almost up to the brow bone as a transitional color. After I do that, I'm going to use this Wet n Wild palette called Comfort Zone, and I'm going to use the pink champagne shade on my lid, all over my lid, and it's so pretty. And this is a Sonia Kashuk brush that you can get from Target, and I make sure to pat it all over the lid. I'm not really packing the color on, I'm more kind of just patting it on, not too much because I don't want it to be like too shimmery, but it's a really gorgeous shade that's going to really open up the eyes. I'm going to use the darker shade for the crease. In the palette, I'm going to use that on the outer edge of the eye and going a little bit into the crease because it's going to give my eye some depth. And I'm not going to apply too much because it is a shimmer shadow. All of the shadows in that palette are shimmer and I don't want it to go muddy. So I'm just going to apply a little bit just to give me a little bit of depth. And after I apply that, I'm going to use the darker shade in that, and I'm going to use that just to deepen it up even more and give it even more depth. And this way it looks really airbrushed, very put together and blended. And I'm using a blendy brush, and I believe that's also from Crown Brushes, really affordable. It's most like the MAC 217 brush. I'm reinforcing this eyeshadow just to make it pop a little bit more, and I'm going to take it into the inner corner of the eye just to kind of open up my eyes more because my eyes are close set. This is the concealer that I love. It is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Concealer. It is not drugstore, but I've not been able to find a really good drugstore concealer that will stay all day. This stays all day long. So I pop that under my eyes before I finish my eyeshadow just to highlight. I use, again, the Real Techniques sponge, and I love the flat side of the sponge for under my eyes because it really helps to push that concealer in and really highlight. So I go ahead and I just blend it all under my eyes, making sure that I don't have really any harsh edges, and I blend it down onto the face so that I get that kind of triangle of lights going on, because I want to look very, very awake and highlighted, and it's going to draw more attention to the center of my face. So I go ahead and I also apply the concealer down the bridge of my nose, on my forehead, and Cupid's bow, and on my chin. And I take the same sponge and I blend that in. Going back to the Comfort Zone palette, I use that brow bone highlight, and I use it as a highlighter because it's almost like a buttercream color, and it's really good to highlight. It's not too chunky, glittery. I go ahead and I apply my face powder, which is again the Laura Mercier Smooth Finish Powder in number 14. The best powder foundation that I've used thus far in my whole entire life. I love it. It's matte but not dry looking, and it just gives you an airbrush look. I go back into the palette with the darkest color that I use on the outer crease with a smudger brush, and I push that along the lash line. I'm not going to use any eyeliner because this whole palette you can use to achieve your whole look. So the darkest shade in that is just really good for eyeliner. I go ahead with a volume mascara, which I got from Forever 21, I believe, and it was like $4. I use the Camel eyeshadow actually as my contour as well. It makes a really good bronzer slash contour. It's matte, it blends really easily, and it really provides dimension to my face. So I go ahead and use that along the contour line by the I start by the temple of my ears and just kind of follow that. Then I go along my forehead because I have to you know, do my forehead. It's really big. Then I go ahead and contour my nose, of course, and then I go ahead with my blush. So this is Milani blush and Berry Amour, I believe. Really nice cool tone blush because everything is so warm. I don't want it to be monochromatic. I want a little bit of a pop, and this blush color is really gonna pop on the skin. It's very, very pretty, and because the makeup is so natural looking, this is gonna provide a little bit more, you know, more of something. Then on the lips, I use the NYX Lip Liner. I believe that one is Cocoa. I'm not too sure, but it's just a nice brown lip liner that goes with my skin tone. It's gonna provide some definition to my lips, and then I apply the Revlon lipstick. I believe those are the Colorburst lipsticks, and Peach. I don't think they carry this lipstick anymore, but there's so many similar colors. I wanted to use something that was nude but had a little bit of color because you don't want to look just, you know, plain Jane. You want something that's gonna provide a little bit of interest. The last thing I'm going to do is use my brow sculpting gel because I have the problem with my brows moving throughout the day, the hair. So this is going to keep them in place, and that's just by Ardell, and you can get that at the drugstore as well. So that's the complete look. This face is not going anywhere throughout the day. It's going to last all day long. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys who are going back to school or college try it out. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!